My overbearing mother-in-law forbid me from wearing a kilt to my wedding because wearing a skirt would embarrass her daughter, and my wife agreed. Now she's changing her tune. I will be marrying my fiancée Gina later this year, and now my mother-in-law wants to be involved in the wedding planning. She offered to pay for most of the wedding, and in return, we'd let her help with the planning. As long as I was marrying Gina, I was happy, so I was okay with this arrangement. I let her have free reign of everything, but in the back of my head, I thought she'd be fine if we vetoed any of her decisions. Turns out, I was wrong. A week ago, she found out I was wearing a kilt instead of a traditional tux. She told me I couldn't do that because I would be embarrassing her daughter if I showed up in a skirt. I told her the kilt had sentimental value to me. I explained to her that my mother died when I was very young, and she was the daughter of first-generation Scottish immigrants. She was brought up learning about her parents' culture, but wasn't able to do that with me. Since her death, I've had a hard time connecting to her side of my family, but I thought that if I wore her family's kilt when I got married, I would simultaneously be connecting with my roots and honoring her. I figured my mother-in-law would understand, but she told me to stop with the sob story, and she didn't care. I told her that Gina liked the idea and thought it was sweet, so I wasn't going to embarrass her. When I told her that this was the only thing I was unwilling to budge on, she brought up how she's paying for most of the wedding, and wearing a tux is the least I could do. I ended the conversation there before we both said something we'd regret, and decided to talk to Gina about this. Well, Gina echoed the sentiment her mother had made about paying for the wedding. I told Gina that this connection to my mother was important to me, and if they kept throwing money in my face, I would pay for it myself. Gina told me I was being a dack for being this stuck to what I want to wear. She said I was just seeking attention since I didn't get it growing up because my mom died. I was shocked. I asked if that was truly how she felt. I thought maybe if I could chalk that up to her being stressed about the wedding, then I could forgive her and forget this happened. But she stuck to her word, saying that she was just being stubborn like me to show me I was being ridiculous. I sat there stunned, and then she called her mom, who raged when she heard I would pay for the wedding myself. She got upset and claimed it was always her dream to plan Gina's wedding. I told her I didn't care, and my family's kilt shouldn't have caused this much conflict. I told Gina that she was being insensitive and making me feel like an afterthought in our own marriage. It felt like I was getting a glimpse of how my life would be if I married her. I told her one thing was important to me, and she could do whatever she wants for everything else. But now my needs are immaterial, and I'm a dack for wanting anything. I asked her what would happen if her mom picked out a wedding dress that she didn't like. She wouldn't let that slide, so neither was I. I said it was clear I was making a huge mistake marrying her because she wouldn't have my back and allow my mother-in-law to stop all over my boundaries. More importantly, she wouldn't give a crap about how I feel and would happily join her mom in stomping on me. When I said that, she changed her tune and claimed she was stressed over the wedding planning. She said she had just gotten out of a massive fight with her mother over changing the theme and wasn't in the mood to start another argument with her. All of a sudden, she was saying she was in the wrong for siding with her mom and was sorry. I wasn't sure if I could trust her. I had a million thoughts running through my head, and her pleas for forgiveness weren't helping. I told her that I needed to stay with my best man for the meantime because I couldn't deal with this drama right now. I left that night, and she messaged apologies. My mother-in-law, on the other hand, was sending messages that I had no right talking to her daughter that way, and she was going to continue making decisions, whether I liked them or not. I was petty, and responded that if she wanted to see a standard tux at our wedding so much, she should wear one. I couldn't imagine a lifetime of being second place to this woman, so I knew the right choice was calling off the wedding.